Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Robin Shimizu because it's Thursday and it's time for Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. How you doing this morning, Robin?
I'm doing just fine, Terry. Good to see you. I can't believe how fast Thursdays come around.
Isn't that a winner? Well, I
It's
just want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's on the road today, and we just want to wish her well in all her endeavors. And we want to thank everybody who's tuning in now and on the replay. And we say, welcome to the conversation. Today, it's all about your health. So, what you got going on today? I see
well,
you got your
first
cat.
of all, I have to apologize for Pee Wee. I'm in my office and I
Mhm.
have a big old hole and they can get into here even when I close the door. So there's no
I hear
keeping
you.
them out. So I have to figure
Well, here's
something
the
out.
thing too. I think pets are a healthy habit
They are.
because they do stimulate different things in our what, right?
Oh yeah, you just grab them and hug them, and you get all that oxytocin and all the serotonin and all the good chemicals that you get when you're holding something and loving onto something. Yeah, it's a really good thing to have a pet around. So today we have Maureen Stevenson, who is I like to describe her as our hormone expert
Ah,
because she started out her business because her hormones were kind of out of whack, and she might tell us a little bit about that. But I'm really excited about seeing Maureen. She hasn't been with us for a couple of months. So I don't know. What does she have for us today, Terry? Did she say?
she said she's going to be talking about the big five, our organs. Okay, this
Okay.
is
Well,
interesting.
this is a new topic for us for a while, so let's bring Maureen in. This is exciting.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi,
Yay.
ladies. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
hmm Thank you for coming. And I'm going to do this. Do you want to introduce Maureen? Robin, tell us a little bit about her.
Okay. Well, I met Maureen at BizChicks. She had this beautiful pink outfit on that lit up the room. I just remember seeing her in season 52, and I said, I got to go meet that lady. She is brighter than bright. She's a health coach. She tells us about how to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually. And I really especially like following her because she's so inspirational in terms of going outside and enjoying the environment and just soaking up all that great sunshine that we have outside. Huh, Maureen? I see you outside a lot.
I know
And
it's where I believe health live. It's where you get to be with who you really are, because the outside doesn't dress up. It's a rugged element that tells us that sometimes we need to go in. All of us just put on this, but we don't go in. So that's what the outside does for me. It reminds me to be my authentic self. And
so it makes you go inside.
yep, it,
Yeah.
it, it, it
Yeah.
is. That's where you find the rawness. That's where you find real. You ever hear they talk about real? When you go outside, you see everything in its real element, and you're reminded that we have to go inside to pull out and to
You know,
detox.
if you were to lead some of us on some hiking expeditions or some outside activities, especially in the summertime, that would be kind of fun, Maureen. I would come out and hang out with you if you did that kind of thing.
I did that. I did that. And that's one of the things that I do. We do take hikes to Harborne and all over the place
I
the weather is good.
When the weather is good. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather is
yeah,
good.
Okay,
good
so
for you.
what do you have for us today, Maureen?
So I just came off of a 7-day adrenal gland summary. And I was more interested with this doctor that her name is Diana, Minich, and she talks about how we're living is our eating, and our eating is our living, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about in terms of over 50 or over 40 when we're in the life-changing cycle. And we, of course, every woman nightmare is, the dreaded weight. I need the weight to come off, right? And
Yes.
so she was talking about exercise and how one of the things that women does to their body is disempower their body. Instead of looking at the inside, they always tend to look at the physical. So I know her tips are quick. So she was saying that some of the things that we need to look at is our cortisone level, our insulin level, and our glucose. Because one of the main factors why we don't get the weight off is insulin. Most of us are insulin resistant. And of course, it's because of how we live stressful life, right? So we never get out the red zone. We're always in it. We're always burning up. And so one of the great tips that she talks about, instead of, the physical, sometimes the weight is on the organs. And if we can take the weight off the organs, then the physical weight will start to melt off. And I was like, yeah. So she said one of the 5 organs that we need to pay attention to for optimum health is, first of all, the gut. Because the gut helps the bowel to move. It takes the toxin out. So it's about movements. And we are supposed to be eliminating 1 to 3 times per day. Like if we eat 3 meals, we need to go to the bathroom 3 times per day.
Oh, nobody ever made it that simple.
Yeah, so she was like, 1 meal per poo, right? So I was like, okay.
Is that not basic? See, I like that about Biz Chicks. You don't complicate stuff. Go ahead.
Neither do me. I can't. And then she was talking about the liver. Because the liver is conducive to our circadian rhythm, right? And so one of the things that we need to feed the liver with is with bitters, right? Bitters. If none of us take bitters in the morning, so anything bitter like dandelion and bitters, you can take bitters so that it will, clear the liver up. So the liver, and then she talks about the skin, because the skin is the largest organ in our body, and we bring in toxin through the skin in terms of the makeup that we use. The lipstick, right? Some of the lotions out there that we put on our skin, and they just transfer right to our bloodstream. So she talks about the next big thing that's coming up in science is going to be the skin microbiome, where people are going to start looking at the skin, because that goes, anytime you rub something on your skin, it goes straight to the bloodstream. So she talks about how to protect the skin, how make sure that you're using, you're sweating, right? And you're getting rid of toxin. One of the ways that you can to do a sauna, you can go outside, you can do movements. That's one way to get rid of toxin in the skin. And then she talks about the lungs, right? And she talks about lungs, that's where you breathe. It depends on here. And I was so stoked because she says one of the great things to nourish the lungs is to be nature. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And she was talking about the great benefits of nature and what it can do to the lungs, especially in this time of Corona, and we're talking about immune health. And she was talking about the outdoors and how the great activity, and the great benefits we can get from that. And then she talks about the kidney, right? And said the kidney depends on water to take the toxin out. So water, and more water for the kidney. And she talks about that a lot, about how important it is to detox and make sure that the kidney is being taken care of. And so if we can always take those 5 organs one at a time, right? Yeah. Not to go in overwhelm, but to look at those organs, then most of our physical weight problem would be off. And it was great news because I thought that was very simple, and I think as women, all of us could use that information. So we want to realize that when we're going on our calendar, and first when we're trying to lose weight, that our hormones after 35, 40 control everything, and everything else control our hormones. And if we can look at those things, she talks about if we can put insulin, if we can get insulin balance, if we can get back all of those things, then we won't have to worry about weight, because then we'll just take the weight off these organs. And then when you eat food, she says food is the most powerful medicine. And I was like, oh.
Real food.
Real food. One thing again, she says, our population was deficient is in purple food. And purple food is good for the mood. Like she says, one in her practice, one of the most things she sees with women is just tired. Every time, if 99 come in, 99 of them is just tired and depleted. Just tired and fatigue. And so, I just wanted to share that. And in my program, The Biggest Gainer, that's kind of what I do. We try to get you on that journey to see not your weight, but to see what holds the weight there, what holds you down. And so I always say to find yourself behind the weight, because you are you, right? Mm-hmm. And so much of us put the weight in front of us and never get to what is holding us back. And so that's just a great way, I think, of just explain it in the most simplest form.
Wow. I think I missed one.
So we have the gut.
Uh-huh.
Then you got the liver. Mm-hmm. Then you got the skin, then you have the lungs, then you have the kidney.
Oh, so the skin is, because the skin is an organ by itself.
It is the largest organ in our body.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I thought we were, I don't know why I lumped the skin and the lungs together. That's not right.
You know what I loved about your presentation, Maureen, is we don't talk about the lungs.
No, we don't.
Ever. And we don't talk about this. I mean, we have people talk about the skin, in terms of, keeping ourselves moist. But you're right. The whole skin microbiome thing is really up and coming. It's really fascinating. Maybe you can come back and talk to us more about that, because we don't talk about the lungs or the skin very much. And I think that would be kind of fun to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, so a little bit of it's an adrenal gland summit, and you know that your adrenal is located on top of both of your kidney, right? Mm-hmm. And so she was talking about cortisol and that hormone, and how that just controlled your life, and that is the queen, man. She was talking about Queen Cortisol. That's what she named it as, right? Because when we're trying to lose weight, that's where we need to go. And that's sometimes the very fundamental mistakes I see when women come up to me and like, oh, I'm going to use 50 pounds. And I'm like, okay, did you talk to cortisol first? Or did you check that to see what's going on there? Did you check your insulin level to see first if, and regulate that with your doctor before you invest in a program? Because if you don't, then all of your money is going to go to waste, and then you become a failure and you beat yourself up. And the aim of being vibrant is not to beat yourself up; it's just to find vibrancy in the body and go there and be vibrant. So that's kind of how I teach women to look at the organs. And
I found this really, really fascinating. I never thought about my body in terms of the 5 major organs.
Yep, that's where the weight is, because your liver, if you have fatty liver, that alone holds the weight. Fatty liver, one of the organs.
Okay.
So
I found this really
so then,
someone has their Facebook.
I know. I can see. So like most women, you're diagnosed with fatty liver. You have to get rid of that fatty liver before you can actually lose the weight. So that in itself is a load on top of a load. And if you don't if you don't go inside, that's in my own, that's how I started to research on getting into health, because all of those things happened to me, and I have to first of all recognize them, deal with them, take action. So the vibrant person you see wasn't always there. The vibrant person you see today was the one who was trying to get out of bed and couldn't get out of bed, who have so many ailments. And I just started to research, and then I found that it helps me, and I wanted to share it with women, because I know I'm not the popular out there, because I don't come to you and said, lose 10 pounds in a day. That is ridiculous. You know, I would be just giving you a gimmicks. I don't really like gimmicks. I like life. That's why I said it's a lifestyle. And
so, Maureen, I'm wondering, do you have any program coming up that you would like us to know about?
Yeah.
Anything that you're promoting right now?
I just recently opened a program called The Biggest Gainer, and we're taking reservations for 5 ladies. I just want 5, because it takes time for me to teach you about all of the top 5s that I just gave to you, and not to overwhelm you. So The Biggest Gainer is just that. It's how to add in and not take out. Because you know, a diet, they tell you, oh, you take out this, you take out that. No. A diet is that you add in. You add in years, you add in vibrancy, you add in the things that you don't have, you add in joy, you add in peace in your body, you add in balance. So that's what's going on with me, The Biggest Gainer. So you can find me at walkrunfitness.com.
Oh, okay.
Or 916-224-7798. We just want a limited amount of ladies, because it really takes time for me to teach you to be a detective, to be your own detective, to hire yourself. A lot of us hire other people, but we never hire ourselves. And so they don't know what's going on in you. So my aim is to hire you to be your own detective. Right? And then you know what's going on in your body far more than anybody else, and to get to that truth, and to, start to be a little bit truth telling, and then you'll just find that vibrancy lives in your body, but it can come out, and my aim is to get that out of you.
Wow. Well, we want to say good morning to Jerry and to Cecilia and all our other viewers. And to thank you so much. You're always so generous when you come by. So we want to thank you again, Maureen. And those of you who are looking for her, we're going to put her contact information over in the chat. I did put down her personal Facebook page, so you can instant message her if you need to, over there on Messenger. And Robin, what do we have today?
So we have next week, oh shoots, where's my calendar? There it is. Okay, we have Brenna with us next week. So she'll be teaching us more about environmental toxins and how to keep toxins out of our environment. Maureen, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on, because I think the thing that I really took away from you today is it's not your weight. It's working from the inside and getting control of those organs and making those organs more healthy in order for us to lose the weight, to release the weight.
Yeah.
And, I'm realizing that as we get older, we don't have to be thin or skinny or anything. In fact, people are often less healthy than people that have a little bit more girth on them. So, I really like the fact that we're not focusing on the weight, and you're focusing on getting your healthy organs.
Yeah, so fat is not. She always talk about that. That fat is not the enemy. It's good. Right. It's good. It makes you have good libido. It makes you have good skin.
That's right. Jerry's asking, Maureen. Jerry's asking, how do you know if you have fatty liver?
She'd probably have to go see her doctor, and then her doctor would give her that diagnosis, and then that's where I help you from. I cannot diagnose, but she would have to go, based on the symptoms that's happening in her body, then she can go and then get a diagnosis from a doctor. And then when she does that, she comes to me, and then we did most of what the doctor told her to do, or I give her another side. The other alternative here is another alternative. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can't, and that thing. But first, you got to get diagnosed, and that is through your doctor.
Right. So we really should do a full blood panel.
Yes,
blood.
Anyway. Yes.
And
starting.
Go ahead.
No, I was said starting every year as women, or as if you want to think about that, do a complete panel. Mm-hmm. And when you ask the doctor, don't let them tell you, because sometimes they will tell you, oh, do a thyroid test, do your FSH test, and that I can come again and tell you all the tests that you need to do in your blood panel to mm-hmm. look at all of it, to look at your sex hormones, to look at how much, the percentage of each of them, and all of that kind of stuff. But that's another show.
Absolutely. So Cecilia says, good libido, laugh out loud. Right. Robin, you want to tell us again who's coming up next week?
Sure. We have Brenna Garcia coming next week. She is our Norwex consultant. She's an artist and she is an entrepreneur. She does essential oils. So she's going to teach us. I don't know what she's going to teach us about, but she'll have some really good tips for us. So we'll be looking forward to seeing Brenna next week.
Yeah, Brenna is a gem. Nice lady.
Thank you so much, Robin. We love your guests. They're always so informative and so willing to share. If you need help with your health, I highly recommend, and you're looking for a fitness coach, I highly recommend Maureen. Maureen will get you straight. She has some great products she hasn't talked about, but go explore her site, Walk, Crawl, Run. Thank you again, Robin. Thank you again, Maureen.
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for the privilege of your time. I am so humble. Thank you.
You're so gracious. So, ladies, we want to remind you, go to the front of your own line, and we'll see you tomorrow for Tech Talk. We'll be talking tech in English right over here on BizChicks Live. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.